My name is Julie Mitchell, and I'm the Artemis Curation Lead. My job is getting us ready for returning samples of the moon from the upcoming Artemis missions. These samples will be curated at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, just like our other astromaterials samples. The goals of the Artemis program are to send the first woman and the next man to the moon by 2024. And we're going to do this by going to the lunar South Pole, which is a place that humans have never visited before. So why is the South Pole interesting? Well, the lunar South Pole has a number of unique features that make it an exciting place to explore and live. Similar to high latitude locations on Earth, the sun will be much closer to the horizon at the lunar South Pole, making for some strange lighting conditions. These lighting conditions produce permanently illuminated regions at the rims of certain craters. These are places that are illuminated most or all of the lunar year. These places are perfect for setting up solar panels and other power generating hardware to keep our habitats and hardware operational for long periods of time. In addition to the permanently illuminated regions, the moon has permanently shadowed regions. These regions are blocked from sunlight due to surrounding landscapes, usually the rims of craters that are higher than the land around them, so they block the sunlight. Because they're so dark and blocked from the sun for long periods of time, these shadowed regions get extremely cold. So cold, in fact, that they're some of the coldest places in the entire solar system. These shadowed regions are special because water, carbon dioxide, and other gases will freeze out when they get cold trapped inside these shadowed regions. There's potentially a huge reservoir of water ice and other volatile compounds for astronauts to collect, study, and use as resources. The South Pole also has a number of unique rock types that will allow us to collect and study the history of some of the moon's largest impacts, which formed some of the most prominent features you can see in the moon's southern hemisphere. So the Artemis missions will begin with Artemis 1, which is an uncrewed mission that will orbit the moon. After that, Artemis 2 and 3 will journey to the moon carrying crew members, with Artemis 3 being the first crewed mission to the lunar surface since Apollo 17 in 1972. After Artemis 3, future missions will build up infrastructure and capabilities, allowing for longer and more robust missions and activities on the lunar surface. So what are we going to do when we get to the moon? Well, one of our main goals is to find water in the permanently shadowed regions and other critical resources needed for long-term exploration. We're also going to investigate the moon, the history of the moon, the current state of volatiles, water, and other gases on the surface of the moon, and learn more about how the Earth-Moon system formed and how the entire solar system formed based on the excellent preservation of rocks and ice that happens on the lunar surface. We'll also learn how to live and operate on the surface of another body where astronauts are just 3 days from home. So if they are testing out hardware on the surface of the moon and anything goes wrong, the astronauts can get home quickly and we can make sure the crew stays safe while they're doing their exploration activities. While they're operating on the moon, the astronauts will be able to test out technologies we're going to need to send astronauts on missions to Mars. Missions to Mars will take up to 3 years round trip, and so we want to make sure that hardware works incredibly well before we send astronauts on those types of missions, and the moon is the perfect testing ground for that type of work. When you look up at the moon tonight, look at the South Pole, think about all of the amazing work being done here on Earth right now to get us there. In just a few short years, humans will be back on the moon, learning, exploring, and pushing the boundaries of human knowledge for this, the Artemis generation, and many generations to come.